The internet, the world as we know, is reacting with a cacophonous what? Regarding the leaked TPUSA conference call or Zoom or whatever it was after Charlie Kirk's death detonated across social media. This is 12 days after he was assassinated. Don't want to say this too loud. On social media, before the world. 12 days. And it was incredible because it shattered the emotional expectations people had about that moment. And that reaction alone tells you how powerful tone and timing really are. I'm saying again, when Candace Owens released the audio, what shocked listeners wasn't the existence of a staff meeting, but the atmosphere it conveyed. Instead of a subdued reflection or a pause of, I can't do this, or catching yourself, holding back tears, any kind of a pause to let people know that this was a job to process the trauma, the call came across to many as fast-paced, glib, operational, metrics-focused. Hey guys. When I hear that, hey guys, it's me. It's my thing. Dear God. Hey guys. This is insane. Hey guys. Glib, cheerleader. Oh yeah, Charlie. Right. That thing 12 days ago. Listeners heard references to attendance numbers, merchandise sales, registrations, growing milestones that were recorded at a time when supporters expected grief, quiet leadership they expected, emotional restraint. I mean, that contrast is what created the backlash, because people listening, audiences, intuitively and naturally judge authenticity and reality, not just by words, but by the cadence, by the tone, by the volume, by the sweetness, by the joking. At one point, remember this, he says, look, Charlie's dead. And I'm paraphrasing it, but what are you going to do? I'm paraphrasing it, but even Candace, what? I mean, you look at priorities, you look at emotional posture. And in moments of this national tragedy, people expect leaders, especially the wife of the man murdered, the father of her children. You expect people to tone down the glee, the volume, tone down the exuberance, acknowledge the loss. I'm surprised you can even do that. Why would the wife of the slain leader have to go through sales figures like this is a car dealership and then pivot or try to productivity, and when this kind of behavior is exhibited, it can feel jarring, even no wrongdoing is present. But what made the situation more intense, and people are still listening to it and they're still reacting, this is the thing that put people over the top. If you don't know what Erika Kirk is about, this is it. Everything else was, well, maybe oh no, this is it. And I'm a trial lawyer. I'm a former prosecutor by profession. Our job is to determine jury appeal, to find out whether people's actions comport with what people expect reactions to be. I mean, this is just incredible. Within days of Charlie's murder, Erika appeared in multiple public-facing moments. Remember this: interviews, memorial appearances. I think she went to the White House, or organizational communications. I mean, she was everywhere. The gold lame and this and that, and I couldn't believe it. It's just, are you? Look, I'm not a psychiatrist, and I'm not one of these people on the internet who throws the word narcissist around and psychopath. But this is something weird. And for supporters who were still processing the shock and the horror, this immediate transition into public leadership without missing a beat created this sense of emotional, again, I keep saying it, whiplash. Some interpreted it as strength and resolve, I guess. I don't know who those people are, but they must be there. While most people interpreted it as premature momentum building. Dear God, cheerleading and it was like a pep talk it was almost like the Wolf of Wall Street in one of those wild meetings. We're gonna get the numbers up, and we're gonna go number one, and then the merch is gonna be up, and the donations are up, and the split reaction reveals a deeper tension inside, I guess, modern political movements. You see, where social media, the speed and the intensity, when that collides with human grieving and timelines, that's what you get. See, did anybody listen? Did anybody tell her, listen, Erika, this is not for you. I don't know if maybe you're just in shock. Maybe that's it. Maybe you're coming across like you're happy because you're so confounded by this horror. Maybe because you can't believe what you've been through. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. But either way, you can't do this. We'll let somebody from sales do this. It's almost like she's saying, oh, no. I want to be in charge. Because not only do I want to be in charge and make the money, but I want to be in charge. Charlie was always in charge. I want to be in charge. This is mine. They're going to love me now. Well, look, Erika, I don't know about that. What do you mean you don't know about that? They're going to love me now. Do I make myself clear? They'll love me and my story. And we never found out what happened when she met with Candace. What was that all about? Now we're finding out about November Renaissance and Fort Huachuca, and oh my God. And by the way, Candace, her critique resonated throughout the land because she framed the issue not as gossip, but as leadership optics and emotional intelligence. Her argument was that when an organization relies on donors and volunteers and public trust, leaders must be especially sensitive to how internal messaging aligns with public expectations. You see, that leaked call amplified concerns about, not about workplace culture as well. That's another issue. The way you're treating these people, many of them young who are working 80, 90 hours a week, and then, well, if you don't like it, leave. Now that's an internal thing. I warn. I got to hear there's a lot going on there that I don't feel comfortable in commenting on because I don't know the real background about employees and who does what. All I know is the way she came out. That I can talk about. The reference that they made to long work hours and rapid turnaround and expectations and continued operational pressure, it just made people talk about whether the staff, again, many of them young people, were given adequate space to process the trauma. And they're saying, oh, we're going to go out there, we're going to get him. I know it's going to be tough, but Charlie's dead, and that's the way it goes. We're going to go, we're going to fight. And by the way, if you want any time off, take the PTO. It was like HR meets something. I don't know what. By the way, even if the formal, resources for grief counseling were offered, a lot of people were arguing that, the broader tone signaled urgency over healing. Let's get this. Let's wrap this up. Come on, people. Let's go. And this matters because morale and loyalty inside political organizations depend not only on, mission alignment or whatever, but on this perceived care from leadership, from the ownership. Another layer that's fueling controversy is the broader political environment. See, TPUSA operates at the center of culture war media dynamics, where supporters expect ideological clarity, focus. And again, this word is Emotional authenticity. This ain't AAA. This isn't just even the GOP. It's beyond that. It's Christianity, it's Charlie, it's a lot of things. And any hint of corporate style, lingo or lexicon or fundraising emphasis, it triggers suspicion. It makes them realize, what is their goal here? Do you hear that? Everybody get more business. Everybody get work. We're selling hats. And we're doing great. And the donations are coming in. And where are the donations coming? Never you mind. Just work. Work. And people are afraid that those movements are drifting away from, the grassroots values towards this kind of an institutional kind of behavior. And by the way, that perception doesn't require bad intent. We're not saying anybody's doing anything criminal, but it emerges when messaging appears overly polished and strategic, or transactional and Dun & Bradstreet-esque, This is especially during emotionally raw periods. I mean, there are people sitting there probably shocked 12 days after. And they're wondering, who is this? And it wasn't the sense of, boy, that Erika, she's tough. Must be tough for her to put this together. No. It came across like she doesn't even feel the grief. This doesn't look like somebody who's grieving. Sorry. If I'm wrong, you tell me. See, what all this episode ultimately highlights is the difficulty of trying to figure out how to negotiate and to provide leadership and transition after a sudden loss. And by the way, there's no perfect script for it, no script for grief in public. There's no rule, but timing, tone, and framing still carry consequences. And I still say to you, that what she should have also done is talk about what they're going to do in terms of helping and the ministry and the people and getting the word out, and not necessarily just talking about the numbers. And by the way, supporters of TPUSA and Charlie, they expect, reverence, not funereal, gloom, but a sense of respect for what happened. All this before the reorganization. They want reflection before expansion, and empathy and sympathy. For somebody who's always crying, or was crying, you saw this, who's doing, the whole thing, the Tammy Faye, over and over and over. You thought, my God. At first you thought, this woman is racked by this. This woman is over. She's over. I don't even know how she can do it. Bless her heart. Oh, she's doing it again. She's doing it again. I'm not so sure if she... Yeah, she's crying. Of course she is. But then it looked like... And then some people were looking at which eyes were tearing. I didn't go that far. But it didn't come... It seemed like she's an actress. She is an actress. She did her time starring in EMP, Industrials for the CIA, Beauty Queen. And when all of this sequencing, by the way, feels reversed, where you could say goodbye to trust. And Candace Owens just tapped into that weird kind of discomfort by specifying and articulating what many listeners felt instinctively, but struggled to name: the emotional mismatch and disconnect between the moment and the message. It was catastrophic. And I still say, I don't think Erika to this day knows how she everything up. I think if you told her, she'd say, what are you talking about? I was great. Erika, you sound fake. No, I didn't. Erika, you sounded weird. Look, whether people agree with Candace or not, this whole thing demonstrates how public perception really is. It's a fragile thing, during transitions. And by the way, remember, I keep talking about narratives, how quickly narratives form when, and by the way, internal communication is leaking, and there are people, let me tell you something, they better have their own version of the plumbers something from Watergate, because there's going to be people who are going to be leaking everything, especially when people feel like they're being screwed, when they've been fired and people were let go because they were changing direction. There are people who kept notes and kept records and kept files, and I tell you what, I'm not one of these folks who is a forensic accountant, but that word TPUSA, that ain't gonna work. They're going to have to wrap that baby up or have a new name or something, because it will be so connected to Erika and this weird thing. Wait till also the trial gets going. And assuming they don't Epstein his ass, wait till he takes the stand or not, or the evidence comes to trial, and wait until we start hearing things about the facts of the case to remind us that, oh, that's right. Hey, Erika, don't you care about that? What? Erika, did you file some type of motion for speedy trial under the victims category? Why do you want this to be sped up? You don't want people to be railroaded. I mean, after all, you forgave him, which a lot of people have a hard time with. But why are you doing this? And then you're going to find out all of the other ancillary, the names. Because right now, let me explain to you something. Imagine that this little baseball, this is the issue here. This is TPUSA, Erika, Charlie, whatever. And you have vectors. Imagine you're shooting like particle beams. You've got audits. You've got forensic accountants. You've got people looking at the papers and the 501c3 and this and whether people were vendors or you got that. Then you've got Erika herself, her behavior. Then you've got Erika's past. A lot of people are saying, who's this guy you're with? This was his name, Massey? What do you mean sex sells? Who's this? We thought you were some virginal little blondie who loved Jesus and loved the Lord. What's this all about? And you were in China and in Romania? And what's that about? And why did you have that pastor on who's under? What's going on? So this starts getting bombarded by all these things. It's like a splitting of the atom. It just blows up. And she can't do it. The only way to survive this is to pull her out of it. Pull her out and away. She can't do this. And what she will tell you is, I don't want to fix this. I want to be the beauty queen. I want to be the star. I'm not interested in this. You don't understand. I don't mind the stage as long as I can wear my lamé, my gold lamé, and walk out and have fireworks. And heaven's going to be crowded and what the hell? And I'm going to go on all these Fox News shows. And I'm going to talk to people like CBS. And I'm going to tell people. And I'm going to bring my magic handkerchief. And I'm going to start tearing up and going through the whole story. And it's always about me. It's about me. It's not about Charlie. It's not about the organization. It's about me. Because God will help me. Not my family. Me. God will help me get through this. And I will perceive. And I believe in God. And me. Have I made my point? Am I being mean? This is not about being mean. By the way, stop that. It's beyond being mean. It's about being realistic. And it's about calling it the way it is. She has so royally screwed this up. And TPUSA, Charlie, it was nice when it ran, my friend. One day, believe me, all it takes is for there to be some kind of independent law firm, somebody that comes in and checks things out and makes sure it's okay. You don't want that. But you know what? That's the business end. I don't care about that. Let them take care of that. I'm talking about image, and I'm talking about the fact that we as human beings, and as a trial lawyer in me, realizes that jury appeal is something, and people can pick up immediately when something goes wrong. All right, my friends. First of all, thank you. Your comments that are just coming through are brilliant. I'd want you on my jury. If I did a shadow jury, I'd want you on it. You're absolutely spot on. Thank you. And by the way, thank you so much. Very, 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 very much for following my wife at Lynn's Warriors. It means a lot to me. A lot going on in the immediate future regarding, believe me, they are doubling down. AI is going to, not only is it going to destroy humanity, but kids, they don't have a chance. We'll get to that later. In the meantime, thank you for following her on YouTube. Subscribe at Lynn's Warriors. And also, by the way, please do me a favor. Please like this video. Liking is very, very important. Very, very critical. Liking, it sounds so sad. Like me. Please like me. But liking us puts us in the HOV lane. And subscribe. 70% sometimes of the people who watch don't even subscribe. And they watch all the time. So that means something. And also hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And become a member. Get the videos early. That's it. That's it. Support us. Us. You know who us is? Me. This is us. Me. This is it. This is it. All right, dear friends. Have a great and a glorious day. A great and a beauteous day. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you much for your mind. And think about Charlie. Because this poor guy has been forgotten. Absolutely. It's like he never was here. Well, we're not going to let his memory be forgotten, no matter what she does. And a special write-on to Candace Owens for making people aware of what's going on. All right, dear friends, until we meet again, remember, I ask you to comment as you see fit.